Hey Ruth, how you doing? Okay, here we go. It looks like I don't have my lighting 100% perfect, but I think it'll do fine. How was your Saturday, Ruth? Hey, Finding Dory. All right. Hey, Gila. Hi, it's very good to have you here, Gila. I have to confess, I mean, there's so many cool things. I mean, hey Dom. Hey, Flight Sticks. Hey, Carla. Hey, Carla. So good to see you. Tone Bone, Oscar, Abby Day, Wrecker, Carla Marie, Rosie Gray. Thank you. Thank you, Gila. I don't know what I could do. I mean, good evening, Gura. Okay, so Irma, it was absolutely unbelievable. I felt so happy to be here. And what's even better than Shabbos is like after Shabbos. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can get rid of this. Is this the one that's doing it? Yeah. Um, After Shabbos, maybe I can do without this. Let's see if I can figure this out. After Shabbos, to just like have everything set up, I don't have to like, it's like mind boggling. It's just like a different dimension how you can just, I have everything set up. I didn't know, I actually didn't have the lights. I didn't have the proper light. I don't have any lights in this room yet, except that I grabbed a light from home and Gila brought me a light. So I have two lights here. And I really didn't want to move all my stuff, even though it's not a lot of stuff to move. But the Shabbos was absolutely unbelievable. It was so nice. I mean, my bestie gave me a bunch of food, so I had plenty to eat. I was like, so much food. I have enough food for like a month now. But I did everything upside down. I went this morning. I had to find out what the neighborhood looked like, so I went for a long walk along the beach to find, and I found like I found one end. It ended in a synagogue. Yeah, So I'm walking along, and there's a synagogue that says, "Welcome, come inside." And I met two Chabadniks outside the shul. So I know if I walk in that direction, I can. It's an Ashkenaz kind of setup, but I don't mind. I asked them what time they set up, so they start at 9:30, which is early for Chabadniks. But maybe next week I'll go. But anyway, so I did all my exploring early in the day, and then about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I said, I really want to daven. It was like, not like it's time to daven, but I want to daven now. I want to daven. And I davened. I davened at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was like really nice davening. And, it's just so nice to be in my own space. I don't think I'll ever, I don't think I would ever surrender to another situation where I didn't have, you know, a controlled, but it was really great. I mean, I got to walk on the beach. I explored. I asked, I'm a fisherman, so I asked all the fishermen, "What are you catching?" I saw one Chinese guy caught a nice blackfish, which is a delicious fish. But I have to thank my bestie for like suiting me up for Shabbos. I have enough food for like a zillion years now. But it was really, it was just an amazing experience to be outside of my usual. I've been davening with the same minion for 15 years, at least 20 years. I mean, and it's really pleasant to like kind of forge ahead and realize that I did want to daven. Where's the flag? I haven't had time. I mean, I'm still camping out here, man. I have like, thanks to my bestie, I have 3 chairs. I had one. Now I have 2 tables and 3 chairs. I mean, the place is, you know, I'm camping out still. I'm gonna go on probably on Monday. I'm hoping to go back to my old house and pick up all my stuff. So hopefully I'll be, within a week, I should be, up and running with, like, where you don't have to look at shadows and we'll have decent backgrounds. Like, I mean, I wanna sit at the same table for morning and night for both broadcasts, and, this room is the house. This place is just like the acoustics in here are just spectacular. It's just like it's like Gila said that the apartment found me, and that's really what happened. I was looking for an apartment, and the apartment found me. So yeah, I'm just really happy to be here. I have to confess that after Shabbos, I forget that I'm the Kabbalah guru. I'm like, "Well, what do you want me to do now?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm the Kabbalah me?" I don't feel really like in the begin it takes me it takes me a little while to, like, remember that, that that's what I do. I don't tend to, like I don't put any, like, ego into it, so it's like it's kinda surprising that that's what God wants me to do now. And, but I got some nice preparation. I got rest. I actually slept through the night. Well, I didn't sleep through the night, but I slept like probably longer than I've slept in quite a while. I mean, because I don't have to live with other people's schedules. I can just do, and it's for me, it's I always look back to I spent a week in the woods by myself. I went on a canoe trip by myself. I just wanted to go on a canoe trip. I hadn't been canoe camping in many years, and I said, "I'm going." I couldn't really find anyone to go with, so I said, "I'm going anyway." And it was the best week because I didn't have, I'm kind of an easy, maybe I'm a little bit of an empath. Like if you need something, I'm kind of like want to give it to you. So when I don't have other people around, I can give just, be there for myself. And I had such a nice week that week in the woods. And I feel like this is a continuation of that experience. I just like, I'm just having a ball. I don't have to apologize to anyone. I don't have to explain to anyone why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm just like, this is what I'm doing. I spent probably an hour, and I'm sure probably violated Shabbos, but I did it anyway. I I couldn't bear to look out the windows because they were so filthy. And Gila bought me some Windex, so I spent like an hour trying to get the things clean. It took like, I mean, I used to clean windows. I was the superintendent of a building next door to me, so I had to clean all the windows. I remember, but it's hard, but, I mean, it took me, like, 4 or 5 tries to even get close to removing the schmutz on those windows, and I think probably, I seem to remember that soap and water is better than Windex, but, I mean, I just I just reached a point where it's like, I love sitting here looking at the water, but then I started to notice how dirty the windows were, and I was looking more at the windows than the view, so I said, I know it may violate Shabbos, but it's for the kavod. That was my rationale. I thought that it's for the sake, for the honor of Shabbos that I need to look through clean windows. So I did it. And I had a chair to stand up thanks to my bestie and all that good stuff. So, um, yeah, so I'm much refreshed. Anyway, I think um, there was really good news. I mean, potentially really good news. I'm seeing a lot of things. I don't know what you guys are seeing, but this thing with Scotus, did you guys read about this? Vinegar, yeah, I should try vinegar. I remember soap and water, warm water and soap was good with a little. I think you put a little vinegar in. Carla, it's Carla Joe, yeah. Carla Joe Aguila is like an old timer. Old. She was on this channel before I met you, I think. Yeah, way before I met you. Vinegar, alcohol, and water. Vinegar and water. Okay, I'll try that. Yeah, I'll do that, man. And use newspaper. That's interesting. Rubbing alcohol works too. Okay. Aircraft flying part. Where, Love Light? Where are you? There's no streaking. Alcohol and vinegar. Okay. Newspaper. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, these, this whole place is windows, man. Oh, Myrtle Beach. A lot of, yeah, I've seen I'm starting to see more helicopters up here. Go horizontal. Oh, what a smart idea, Kaleidoscope Eyes. Whoop, whoop. Yeehaw. Yep. Mars military broadcast system. Better than Windex. Okay, thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm gearing up. I mean, I left all my, I have everything at home, but yeah, a drop of New Dawn in water, a professional squeegee. Yeah, it can be fun. Yeah, I need a squeegee because I have to reach around some of these windows. We're pretty high up. Oh, by the way, I walked up the stairs. It was almost 200 steps, and it reminded me of hiking in New Hampshire. I was tired. I mean, I had to rest. I don't know if I rested. No, I didn't rest, but I'm just saying it was like I was out of breath. I mean, I was definitely out of breath when I got up there. It was definitely good exercise. That was one of the things I was looking forward to Shabbos. Was walking up the steps. It was a nice workout. And then I didn't feel so obligated to run around, while I was up around. But I did walk quite a bit on the beach. Yeah, I'm gonna get a workout. I need that. I need that in part of my day because if I have to, like, I'm not the kind of guy to go to a gym. It's just like it has to be part of my routine. It has to be like fit into the day. Yeah, Gila got to see me moving stuff. Yeah, I try to. Oh, this. I just want to like something going. Oxygen of the blood, good. I hate steps. Ah, yeah, I am by a boardwalk. It's actually not with boards. It actually is a concrete boardwalk, but they're doing a lot of renovation. They're putting in new jetties, and it's not a fancy place. That's what I really kind of like about it. It's just like, it's not like a I don't know, maybe it is in the summer. It doesn't seem like a resort like population. I met mostly Russian immigrants. Excuse me. I met a lot of Russian immigrants, and I only know one Russian word, which is placebo. I don't know if it's placebo or placebo. I said placebo because it sounds better. And they were really smiley. They were just so happy that I knew at least that much Russian. That means, thank you or please, like thank you. And I said placebo. A lot of Russians live there, yeah, and everybody I tell is like, "Oh, my grandmother lives there." I met the Chabadniks, they were like, "Oh, yeah, our grandparents live here." It's like so here I am thinking, I was heading out to, Long Beach to be amongst the young and, you know, whatever, the hip people, and I ended up with old Russian. It's like and I'm fine. I'm happy with that. It reminds me when I went hitchhiking, when I was a teenager, it was a mandatory thing. It was a rite of passing for men to go hitchhike out to California and back. That was just like it was. We all read this book called On the Road. You guys, I'm sure a lot of you remember this, but it was like everybody, it was it was just something you did. So I went on the road with my banjo. I was a banjo player back then, and I hitchhiked. I went with my cronies to as far as Santa Fe. A bunch of us got in a Volkswagen, and we drove to New Mexico because one of my guys girlfriend's family had moved to Santa Fe, so we all moved there. We moved into a little house on like this main street, and and then I went out. Then I get tired of hanging out with the homies from my hometown. I was like, I'm out, man. I hitchhiked out to California and came back to New York. But the reason I'm telling this story is so like just like here, I'm like, I'm going to Long Beach, man. They got a lot of really nice looking things over there. I could really maybe I could do some business. And just like in when I was hitchhiking out, I said, it's kind of like that Eagles song, standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. Well, that never happened for me. I only got rides with older couples stopping at gas stations to buy ashtrays from different states. And I did get a long ride from a very cranky truck driver from like almost California to Nebraska. Finally, Nebraska. I just said I got tired of it. This guy was just he'd been up for like 4 days. He was popping the little white pills, Um, and if you give me weed, whites, and wine, and you show me a sign, I'll be willing. Well, this guy was willing, but he was also crazed. After 4 days, he was getting really cranky. So I said, just let me out here. It was in the middle of a cornfield in Nebraska. I slept next to my banjo in this cornfield. It was quite an interesting. I'll never forget it. But anyway, yeah. So all my plans are for naught. But I am actually, the truth be known, God looks out for me because I'm really happy by myself. I'm just so happy. I don't have to listen to anybody tell me what to do right now. It's like I'm just doing what I want to do. So, did you guys see that thing about Scotus? 15 head, most are pets. With older Russians, right? I'm like, come over here, sonny boy. I'm like, I don't think so. I'm going back to my crib. It's safe. I feel so safe and like so this is so much better than any of the other places I looked at. I just feel like I have total anonymity, total privacy. Like I don't feel like someone's going to knock on my door like, "Oh, we're with the welcoming committee." And I'm like, uh, I had a friend once, his name was Chuck, and he was a wealthy guy, and he told me that whenever he moved into a new house, he would go to his next door neighbors and just say something like, "I never want to talk to you ever, so just don't even think about it." I mean, it sounds kind of cranky, but he was a character. Extend his succus, yeah. Yeah, so, Shelly is here. I better behave myself. Uh, Gila, be careful. Cherie is here. So, I mean, she's not so, she doesn't want to share me. She wants me to come to Paris. She says I shouldn't worry about her boyfriend. I mean, I'm like, what are you crazy? I mean, not worry about, he's a very, what's the word? Swarthy, Israeli guy named Joseph who, probably like 6'6", weighs about 250 pounds, works out, don't worry about my boyfriend. I'm like, okay, sure. All right. Sorry, Charisse. Anyway, so let me get to this intel because I think this is really exciting stuff. My own corner, my own chair. Yeah. Yep. 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 my mother confessed to me. I told my mother how happy I am. She's like, she's she's like, "Ellie," I said, "I'm really happy, man." And she said, when dad passed over, I I'm sorry to say this, but I was kinda like a little bit relieved that nobody was gonna tell me what to do anymore. I'm like, I kinda understand it, mom, I kinda get it. Yes, no ruling, but very interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna shift over to that. I'm gonna go to that right now. Oh, okay, here we go. So, there was a lot of intel coming out, um, from Tyranny. Oh my gosh. Oh, Gila, that's such a sweet picture you took of the workspace. Yeah, I have a very like, my working like, my idea of, like, a cool workspace is just, like, this table. I mean, this is my place, man. It's like if you might be thinking that this is a really neat, that everything is clean and tidy. It's like I've got stuff. Even in just a few days, it's like completely covered with stuff, including the compass that my mother got when the boat sank. When her boat sank, she grabbed the compass and somehow it ended up on this desk. But the good news is that, that's just the way I like to work. I'm a little bit of a pig pen, but no, I don't have anyone here to say, "Could you," I don't know. Listen, she's a good person. Whatever. Okay, here, let's go. Okay, so love your heritage. Let's see what's Saturn's ring is the largest in the solar system. The largest, of course, is the Hollywood, what ring. That's interesting. This just came out, by the way. This guy's really active. I don't know what okay, Georgia is about to set a precedent. It will hold a World Cup for getting caught cheating in a Senate race and twice in the same year for early voting. This won't be the first time. This happened way back in 2020 during the same doing the same thing back then. They never learned. W.H. Grandpa puts out, think about this, the overwhelming evidence that points to many government officials' unanswered criminal offenses make equal justice under the law a new conspiracy theory. That's pretty funny. Okay, I'm gonna read this. It's a little risque. Shali, it's be oh, okay. Captain, cognitive dissonance stands in the way of many. The drive to defend their beliefs, old and new. If you question them, they get angry. I've gone through this phase myself. It sometimes takes a shock to break the programming, which is why this campaign against the dark players on this planet is taking so long. Humanity has been programmed to believe the strangest things. The three-letter agency that starts with a C and their mentors, the Orient Greys. That was who Eisenhower hooked up with, but they were probably aligned with them for thousands of years. Know well the sometimes fragile psychiatric condition of programmed humanity, how they've been conditioned over thousands of years to attack anyone or anything that is the less the least bit out of alignment with what they believe. Lie is in the middle of the word on purpose. of alignment. Yeah, the middle. Yeah, a lie, but no, it's not. Lie is in the middle of the word. Okay, so it's the letters are of the word lie is in the word of alignment. Yeah, when somebody's ready to trust their own intuition and not rely on what is fed to them from the outside, then and only then, first they must question their own beliefs and what they have been told. Breakthroughs come through eventually. Meanwhile, hold your ground gently. Some humans are like traumatized children who are unable to think critically and to feel that the resonance of an idea is off. Now we can only hold these disabled ones in compassion and stand aside. That's pretty sweet. Yeah. Okay. Now I saw a lot of things about ley lines. Jasara. Jasara. Jasara is mentioned. I'm just calling it Jasara. It's Jasara and Nisara, but we're just calling it global. And by the way, I don't want to forget this thought. Is South America going to be linked with North America under Mr. T? I know Australia is part of that particular kingdom. I can't remember if South and North America and Australia are linked because I think there's supposed to be 7 kingdoms. Jasara is mentioned several times in the deep state mapping maps. Incredible amount of information connecting everything that is happening now with past events. I'm gonna pass this on to the Intel channels because there's more. Okay, now to avoid any paper trail going from FTX directly to Hobbs, the money got there indirectly. You can't make this up. The entire AZ election needs to be redone. Okay, so I just, because I put it in the title, I just want to say that this FTX and XRP, one is legit and it gets treated like it's criminal, and the other one is criminal and it gets treated like it's legit. So, I mean, this is obvious. This is all just it's too bizarre. You can't make this up. I mean, who was that? Rush? Rush would say that. You just can't make this stuff up, folks. That's what Rush would say. Truth is stranger than fiction every time. Now, here's woke societies. People need to understand the FTX scandal didn't just involve the Democrats. Here's a list of every Republican that received funds from FTX. What other evidence do you need to see that the uniparty exists? I'm going to share this on the Intel because it's a pretty impressive list of names. I mean, everything is coming out. Love your heritage, right? You're watching a movie. Mr. T never stopped. I'm going to put this on because there's a great picture of him working. And my mother was so sweet. My mom is now that I'm single, I'm calling my mom more. And in my family, my brother is the successful one, and I'm the black sheep that never gets, never can get anything right. So she said, you're going to want to retire soon. I'm like, yeah, but mom, I'm really, I'm doing pretty well on, she doesn't get it. I mean, my brother told her, he's in DARPA. He's been a spook all his career and, successful one. He's very, they made movies about him and everything else, but he's like, he's going to, he's got lots of bucks, and I'm just like, mom, I don't really want to retire. I really love what I'm doing. I mean, but she's a lib and she doesn't really she doesn't really want to watch me. It's just not for her. Anyway, beautiful, beautiful person. But We don't think eye to eye politically. Risk of another shutdown, be prepared to lose access. Let me share this one with the Intel channels because there's a couple parts to it. You guys know what I'm talking about when I say the Intel channels. I'm talking about Telegram. I'm talking about their two channels. One is the Kabbalah Guru family Intel chat, and the other just says Kabbalah Guru. And it has like, I think like 10,000 subscribers. Has a picture of me. Find the markers 10 and 10, 12/7 to 12/17. Okay. Some dates to look forward to 12/7 to 12/17. Again, I mean, we're always go through this. Military, what specifically occurs? Think budget. Why is this relevant? Because of the Democrats not being interested in life and safety. Okay, I don't want to read this on Get smart, make America great again. The Dems will threaten shutdown, but what they are really doing is shutting down the military at a time we need it most. Okay, so I think that'll probably not do well for them. Yeah, you're having a hard time? No, you didn't miss the Scotus ruling. I didn't get to that yet. Okay, I'm heading there. There's a lot of things about ley lines. I recommend that everybody really get, um, do a lot of research into what a ley line is, because that's how they've been controlling us. They took over all the ley lines, and these are specific lines. For example, the Washington Monument, Cleopatra's Needle in Central Park, the the Vatican, all these places, the Capitol, all these places lay on these ley lines, which are somehow aligned with fault lines in some. There's a You'll see it if you do a little study. It has to deal with like magnetic lines, and by controlling the ley lines, they're able to control humanity. So you'll see, for example, like I saw in Brooklyn, all the big Catholic churches are on ley lines. That they're not even. I mean, I wouldn't even call them Catholic churches. These are Tartarian buildings. These are ancient buildings. That the structure, there's no way we could have built them, but they're right on the ley lines, and they, who knows what goes on underground these things, but yeah, we have a nice. I mean, also just to remind everyone, I'm trying to get two channels going. I can't seem to get this one monetized for some reason. They're giving me a hard time, but I have the one with 50,000. That's for the short. I'm going to put the short videos, and I'm going to do all the live videos on this news channel. That's my plan. That way, if God forbid anything happens to one of them, I'll still have the other. Yeah. So, okay, so I want to get to the SCOTUS ruling. There's a lot about Tesla. If you go to Tyranny, um, if you go to Telegram, I mean, I'm getting all my intel from Telegram. There are a lot of channels that have Trump bucks and stuff. They say, Trump bucks for sale. I don't subscribe to any of those anymore. They're all selling stuff. Whiplash is a great source, but he's also, he also has an interest in lobster and Scopulus, I think it's called, uh, and XLM, Stellar Lumens, which he says is going to be worth more than XRP, which is good for me because I lost all my XRP. But make sure you hold. If I'm not an investment advisor, and if I was, you should run like heck. But you should have a few, just in case, just have a few XLM. They're like 9 cents right now, 8 or 9 cents. You could buy, I just bought like 10,000 of them. And I use them. I trade them on Lobster for assets that Whiplash recommends. Just saying. I mean, I've heard that this was a gift from the Pleiadians to the humanity, so that the people who are like kind of ahead of the curve can get a lot of money, so that we can help the others when the time comes. Chaim. Anyway, so check out Tesla. Check out, this not gasoline, this water-powered car that can run for, 180 kilometers on 1 gallon of water. We have the technology for this. They kept it from us. They're keeping us from all these beautiful technologies, man. We don't need this polluting stuff. Anyway, we're coming into, okay, so let me get to this Scotus thing. Check out, but go to, okay, let me just spell this out. This is on TIRONIANAE. This is a website on Telegram that has a lot of good intel. Sometimes the White Hat channel has, I look to see who's doing what on the intel channels. And I kind of cherry pick it, and I work in conjunction with Gila. If Gila finds something interesting, she'll send it to me, and we, like we had something recently that I didn't look at it really carefully, and I thought, well, this is really interesting, and I put it up, and Gila said, no, this is not. And we work together on this. I need her Bina. Bina is the female aspect of consciousness. I am all chokmah. I'm all about great ideas and no development. So that's why I'm hard to live with, because I can like start 15,000 projects and not complete and not, and be working at them all at the same time, but not really like, if you're living with me and you're saying like, you started that 9 weeks ago and it's still like laying out on the floor, it could drive somebody nuts. But I do eventually finish. I think I finish all these projects, but it's just like my mind, I try to, I try to multitask, and I'm not a female, so it's like doesn't work. It doesn't work so well for me. I think females can multitask better. Anyway, let me get to the Scotus thing. Okay, here it is. This is a really good summary. A few days ago, I highlighted a case before Scotus. The case was not about election fraud. It was about a law. I shouldn't even say that word, but it was about a law. This is what makes this case so interesting. That states that after the election, there has to be by law a 10-day review of the election. The then Congress blocked this review. It is this the Supreme Court will rule on. In other words, they are not ruling as to whether or not the selection process was kosher. All they have to do is rule on this law, whether or not it was legal not to review the evidence after the selection process. So this is a whole different thing. Scotus has deemed this of such import that there will be no time delay. Just listen to the guy in the video. He has a good explanation. I already put that video on our Intel channels. That there is a plan that 17 and the White Hats are in control. Excuse me. That the military will intervene on behalf and will support with the support of the patriots. I have never doubted. I am quite regularly asked to explain how this could come about. Well, here is one such scenario. 9 judges have to decide whether this law was broken. If it was, then most of Congress and the administration are relieved of their positions as a starter. The whole government basically will be asked to walk. Is this showtime? What a show this is. 17 stated that Christmas could be a celebration, that the Satan would be removed from the White House. And by the way, I just saw a comm that said Santa and Satan have the same letters in their name. Listen, I grew up with Santa Claus. In my house, we celebrated Christmas. We did not celebrate Hanukkah. I was raised by German Jews. German Jews are like, they're all about assimilating. They don't want, they're just like, man, Jews get the short end, and they were always they could my people were in America for a long time. They couldn't join clubs because they were Jewish. They couldn't it was a big deal to them. I mean, they wanted to they wanted to be Americans, and they weren't allowed because they were Jewish. So they figured, well, we'll just pretend we're not Jewish, and it was like they stick out like a sore thumb. It's like it's a ridiculous idea, but hey, I wasn't there at the time. I just remember being told about this, and we had my parents were grandfathered in because my father was Jewish, into a Jewish yacht club that we never could have joined ordinarily. I mean, it was way beyond our means. But that's where they were holding. Anyway, is this showtime? This is what a show this is. Q stated that Christmas would be a celebration and Satan would be removed from the White House. Is 17 referring to this coming Xmas? I think so. Thanks, P. So in other words, the idea here is like this. They don't have to rule on the election. If they ruled on the election, there could be riots, could be people being very upset. It could be a big deal. But here, all they have to do is rule whether or not it was constitutional to skip this review of the selection process. This is, this is a law. You have to do this for 10 days. And the Congress decided not to do it. So if all the judges, including the liberal judges, and they have a 9-0 confirmation, if all the judges say, yeah, you know what, we're not ruling on the election, but it was illegal for them not to do a review of this selection process. If they agree 9-0, then like 9/10 of the government is expelled, and the people who are protesting won't have what to protest about because the liberal judges have to go along with this. Because it's just like it's a brilliant move. If this is the linchpin, if this is the keystone to this whole strategy, it would be brilliant because they could take down the House in one fell swoop without even getting into a controversial area. So that's what it is. And I put a video up. I'm going to put this. I think I put this up too. I put this all up on the Intel channel. This is another really cool thing. They were saying that, let's see if this. So this means for the first time in 55 years, this January 20th, 2023, will mark the first time since 1967 that no member of the Cheney, Clinton, McCain, or Bush family hold elected or appointed office in federal government. The United States of America, that's insane. 55 years, these four families have always had someone in office. Okay, so that's interesting. I think I'll put that on the Intel channel, so I may be repeating. Remember, the difference between the two channels is like this. The KABBALAHguru family intelligence posts only is a collective effort, and you can post your things. I think this is probably the best source of information on the web for Intel. But then the other one is KABBALAHguru. That's just me. That's just things that I find interesting. If you like the way I look at things, you might want to look at that as well, or, in addition to. But those are the two channels that, and when you think about the opportunity that we have, that this technology gives us, just make sure I have gas. Yeah. If you think about the opportunity that we have, we can share thousands of videos instantaneously. Now, there is one caveat, and that's what they're saying, that Telegram is going to start reporting or deleting or censoring photos. So, we've enjoyed incredible amounts of journalistic liberty on Telegram. Will that remain? I don't know, but it's really changed the world, I think. I mean, it's changed the world for me because you can't get information out there. You have to listen to a lot of videos. You have to listen to Dave and a bunch of other people all day long to get the same information I can get very quickly on Telegram by checking in with T-Run-A that I recommended, with Whiplash, with White Hats, and I'm going to get to those quickly in a second. Even though I didn't make enough coffee, but I didn't have coffee all day on Shabbos, so I was able to take a nap and all kinds of good stuff. But there's something from Aldous Huxley that I already posted. Here's the thing from this is I'm going to post this again on the Intel channels. This is the guy who really breaks it down and explains it. I don't know what his name is. Islands on the Beach, he calls himself. He's a bald-headed gentleman, handsome guy, and he lays it out for you. Probably nothing, but something about the date 12/2/22 keeps standing out to me. 17 hints that POTUS tweets of all tweets will be on a Friday. This date is coming as Friday, 12/2/22. I decided to look up the date on Gematria calculator, and simple Gematria equals 55. Then I looked up past events and special things about December 2nd and found that the International Day for Abolition of Slavery, also Britney Spears' birthday, would be a great time to tweet next Friday to end our slavery to the elite reptiles. I mean, all right. I can't really wrap my mind around what they call gematria, but I also posted a thing that shows the back of all turtles. 13 moons and 28 days on all turtle shells. Can you believe that? I mean, that is just like mind-blowing. 13 squares, and around the center is 28 days. That is just unbelievable. The ancients had it all, man. I'm looking at the moon outside. It's the first day of Kislev, and there's a crescent moon. That doesn't make sense. That means the calendar is out of sync. There should be no moon on the first day of the month. So something, I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe I don't know. Well, this is the first place I've ever lived in where I can actually like notice the moon. I mean, it's kind of in your face right here. So I'll keep tabs on that, and I'll let you know what I find out about that. But that's interesting. But that is staggering. This is I'm going to post this on the Intel channels from the Wall Street Journal. Really cool stuff. It's just, it shows. Okay, I'll read it. It says FTX's collapse wiped out founders' philanthropic aims. And then it has it crossed out. It says, well, you'll read it. You know what? I'm not going to risk it, but you read it on the Intel channels because it's crossed out to put the correct what really happened. His philanthropic aims? Really? Really? You telling me this? This is the Wall Street Journal? This is honest reporting? This is journalism? I don't know, man. I think we are the ones now. I think this is the journalists. We are the journalists. We are sharing tremendous amounts of information in really quick time. We have circumvented the whole mainstream media with these platforms. I mean, I have three, maybe four. I have 4 YouTube channels. I have 2. We as a community have like 7 or 8 Telegram channels. If you're lonely, you can hook up. You can no, that's not. I don't mean that word, but if you're lonely, you can find somebody to talk to. Sometimes you just need somebody to talk to. Sometimes when you're really feeling out of sorts, you just need someone to say, "Hey, man, you know, Have you had anything to eat lately? Like, gee, I forgot. It's like simple stuff. Keep it simple, stupid. You know that one, right? Keep it simple, stupid, right? Keep it simple, stupid. KISS. No, that's another one. There's one that's hungry, thirsty, tired, or not enough sleep. Whatever. Okay. Um, a flat realm. Oh, this is interesting because Gil and I have been talking about this. Why are people so like, you can't tell me the Earth's not flat. You can't tell me the Earth's not right. I mean, they're so bent on like, you can't disagree with them. Why are they so defensive about this? So a flat realm goes against the laws of nature and the laws of physics and magnetism. These are the fundamental principles that can never change or operate independently of one another. There are many lies to keep everyone in the dark about the truths. Why not just to not know, but to keep everyone divided? I don't know what that sentence means. Basically, they're saying that the cabal wants to keep us divided. That's why it's like it's an emotional issue. It's not like, "What? You think the earth is round? You've lost you're completely where's your homework, buddy?" I mean, it's like they're not reasonable about it. It's not like, "Oh, well, I kind of think the world is flat." Oh, that's nice. That if if you were holding like that, it's like, oh, you think the world is round? Well, that's interesting. Maybe there could be a little truth. Maybe there's something in between. No, we can't. No, no. Oh no, we can't go there. We can't compromise on these issues. These are mind-raking issues that nobody can compromise on ever. Urgh. Right? Yeah, okay. So anyway, okay, so let me just get to a couple other intel channels, but that Scotus thing is pretty deep. Thank you, Gila, about that photograph. You're so sweet. Gila keeps me going. Um, let's see. Charisse, you also keep me going. Don't worry. Don't get jealous, all right? There's plenty of room here. I got a big heart, man. I'm just a little nervous about Joseph. He's only 6'6", and he's very, like he's a little bit she tells me he's like a little bit he's like he gets angry easily. I'm like, "Really? You want me to come to Paris and visit you?" 1,000 watching, yeah. No trolls, amazing. Maybe our Star Brothers, Star Force has got our back. All right, let me just no, I wanna look at the White Hats. Okay, let me just look. Did she post recently? Yes, it looks like. Let me just see how many posts since I last looked. Wow, tremendous. Is this all new? Can't be. It looks like it's all new. No. No, it can't be this much, but it looks like it's all new. Let's just see. No, I saw that. I saw that post. It's not dated, so I can understand it. Can't be this much new. Okay, I'm going down. I'm going back to the last post. Many countries are getting ready for military versus deep state military. We read this last week. The show is just beginning in countries from Ukraine, operations, China. Everything's about to go into place. I think this is all old. Many don't believe the devolution plan. Yeah. No, this is not. I don't think this is new. I'm going to go to Whiplash. Whiplash 347. Totally recommend it. I, you know, I invest in these things on Lobster. It takes a bit of fussing, like 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 everything in life. You have to practice, like everything, especially on the web. You have to practice it a lot. Like when I first started editing my morning short movies, it took forever, and I was like, should I do, what if I press that one, am I going to erase the whole, you get nervous about it, especially if you're an old timer a little bit. uh, so but as you practice more and more, so if you practice with Lobster and Whiplash and go back and forth a few times, I don't think it's that hard. But there's a learning curve. Okay, so he's talking about Stellar. Gonna skip these. Just see if there's any Intel. Sunday is usually not a big day for Intel. Saturday night, Sunday. I was surprised to get that Scotus, that thing about Scotus. And they're talking about deuterium. We did that last week. At the age of 38, humans stopped making enzymes that break deuterium down in the body. Probably why we put on weight. We read this last week. The clock again. Now, could it be 12:08? Could that be on the clock? Because it's got the 10 and the 2. That could be 12, and then it's got the 8 little lines. I'm gonna post this. I posted this a million times, and it has the V for Vendetta thing at the end. Oh, let's see. And kabbalahguru. Okay. See if there's anything else here. Any obvious? I don't think so. I'm scrolling way up. If he has any intel here, it's hidden. Does anyone know when Protocol 20 is supposed to come online? Isn't it supposed to come online at the beginning of December? The time is going so fast. 5th of December. Monty Python, the Galaxy song. I love Monty Python. That's like a guy thing from the 70s or 60s. Yeah. I don't think ladies like Monty Python the way guys do. I'm not sure. Let's hope it happens. Yeah. But we I mean, I'm just speaking for the community. We do not wait. We do not wait on dates. We know that things are happening. We don't have to get all, I mean, I saw you guys. I mean, I was like more freaked out that what was that? There was a date that came up. There was something that came up recently, and everyone was just like, "Oh, Ellie, it's no biggie," I was like, "Aren't you a little bit nervous?" I mean, ladybug, life-changing, the cure for the jab and the disease. The EE system. What is the EE system? Iris said I have to cash out. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it could be oblong shape. I mean, well, there's certainly a lot of water in the atmosphere, Donna. A lot of Sagittarius in the house. Interesting. PATT is on. Actually, silver. Yeah. No. I think XLM is silver backed. XRP is gold backed. Something to learn from King David. Teach me. Yeah. Oh, and one thing I thought of, just to make everyone feel better, the Rebbe, Menachem Mendel Schneerson, very often, or I don't know if very often, but I've heard it said that the Rebbe said he doesn't understand why Mashiach hasn't come yet. So he's not the only one. Like, even a great prophet like the Rebbe, even the great Navi, they couldn't really, they could not pinpoint time. That's something only God can do. Even the great prophets cannot tell you exactly when something's going to go down. No, I'm not getting a cold. I'm getting stuffy. I don't know why. Maybe, I don't know why. There's probably dust in the air or something. And property. Yeah, I wish I was up to buying property. The Antarctic is very secret. Yeah. I just saw a film that said that the Antarctic is the original place where the four rivers in the Garden of Eden. That the Garden of Eden is probably Antarctica. Any state nationals? I don't know. I'm sorry, my nose is clogged. I'm not getting cold, God forbid, but I will go off screen for a minute. I also wanted to show, like, those of you who, I feel a little bit weird doing this because you know, I don't like to push products, but I do really like this stuff. And I just want to show you how much of this one might take. And that is, you fill up a glass this size. Okay. It's like two ounces, I think, like 2 ounces. Four times. You do 4 of these a day. I just want to show you those who are into the ASEA thing, and they're saying it takes a while. I feel it already. I've only been doing it a couple weeks, but it's this much, right? L'chaim. And those of you who like still taste things, it might have a little bit of a funky taste. I don't, you know, I don't notice those kinds of things. I just after taking as many different types of drugs as I've taken, like, taste doesn't really affect, you just learn. I don't do that anymore, but I'm just saying that, like, I've 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 slammed down some pretty disgusting substances in my time, and this does not really bother me. Yeah, but if you want, I have a link below if you're interested, because I do think eventually I will be making some income on it, so I won't have to be so nervous about what YouTube is doing this week. Although it seems to me that that the white hats are in control of YouTube. But I did have a video taken down recently, but it was a possibly, Gila, if you're still listening, just go like this. It was possibly a little bit of an edgy, subject. That I'm just saying, I had my channel taken down for, like, also for, like, saying something about the thing that went down in 1963. Apparently, even the white hats don't want. I don't know, but I think that was taken down when the black hats were still in control of YouTube. But they for sure don't want anyone to know what really happened in Dallas in 19 whatever. Yeah. Reptile traps. Yeah. Those reptiles they're pretty big. I think they're like 15 feet tall. So you'd have to get a pretty good, pretty hefty trap. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable about I don't really I do not feel comfortable about, I don't like to endorse products. I don't like to do that. It makes me nervous just because I was taught from an early age by my mother, whose father was a very successful businessman, that business was bad. So I'm like, I'm indoctrinated. I'm just like, I can't get past. I can't get no, no, no. I can get past it in terms of my own worldview. Now it took me 60 years for me to say, you know what? It's not a bad thing to make money. It's a good thing. It's a very good thing. But it took me a long time to get over that programming. It's like I'm a hippie. I don't need anything. And after living on paychecks from the Department of Education for 20 years, came to the realization that it's a really good thing, and it's not evil. It's beautiful to make money, and it's because you're helping other people, you're employing other people, you're sharing with other people. You have the ability to give charity. You're not taking charity from other people. I mean, there's a lot of really great things about um yeah, about making money. And it's not easy for me. But I really want to make a lot of money. I really do. I'm tired of being, I'm tired of like, you know, I just, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't like being poor. I want to be rich. And I don't really like I'm not gonna be like a flashy consumer. I'm not gonna like I don't even want a car. I've told you that before. I mean, I might buy another guitar or something like that. I don't know, but I'm all about investing. I just like to invest. It just makes me happy. Buy a little this, a little that, and see what happens. Because it could help other people. Like if lobster really takes off and we all end up zillionaires, man, we could buy our own Kabbalah Guru family estate. We could have our own farm. We could produce our own food. We could have our own city. I mean, or state or farm or whatever. We could do whatever we want. John's here. John Cash. John Cash is my teacher, man. He's my guru. Waiting for the Pleiadians, yeah. They're probably amongst us. They're probably all over the place. I mean, Gila says I'm a Pleiadian, but I don't know. A levitating city. Oh, we can have a levitating city. Oh, John Cash is here. Okay. A Martin, yeah. I have a Taylor. I'm really happy with it. It's really a nice guitar. But somebody told me like the really high-end Taylors are like the action is a little better. I don't know. I don't know. No. I do want to I do now that I'm in my new place, I do plan to pull out my banjo. I want to start practicing banjo. I have to get a stand for my banjo so I just want to see it all the time. If I see it, I'll pick it up once in a while and I'll start to play it. I don't know if I think my nose is too stuffed up, and I'm not sure that I can. I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure what song I could conjure up. Maybe I could do like I'm not feeling like my usual kind of like somber, you know, um, Let's just see if I have power. Yeah, I have a little bit of power left I can plug in. See, this is the advantage of not like having to move 15 times a day on my, I just want to have the same room, the same place, the same, the microphones where I know it is. And, you know, eventually, like when I get really fancy, I'll get like my own, I'll get a little, maybe like a Keurig coffee maker right here. So I could just like, I won't have to remember to make a cup of coffee before the meetings. I don't know. You know what? I think I'm gonna hold off on the song. I'm not sure I'm really up to it right now. I'm still kind of recuperating into my new our own banjo and guitar plans. Yeah, Kofifi. Yeah, yep. Anyway, I think it's really interesting news. I mean, we don't know how it's going to go down, but it could be the Scotus thing. Sounds really like an amazing, like the strategy behind it to think of something like that. Yeah, it was really good to walk upstairs. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was good. I thought it was going to be like, oh, just run up the stairs, but it was like, wow, that's really a climb. It really reminded me of being in New Hampshire. Nassara's, yeah. Silver is always good, Melanie. Yeah, Mr. T, man. Physical gold can't hurt. I might possibly have to take off Monday. I don't know, but I might be going back to my old place on dinars. I bought some. I have dinars. I have dongs. I have zims. I like to I like to have my eggs in many baskets. Dinar is going to revalue. I think the Zims. I think the yeah. Translate Dalvin. I'm not sure the spelling right. Hugs. Thanks, Elsie. Give me silver, blue, and gold. Yeah. Victory soon. Yeah, let's hope so. Are you going to miss my garden? Not really. I gave away my fish tank. It's like I can do other things. I can walk on the beach. I can go fishing now, man. I mean, these guys were catching fish. I saw one really nice blackfish, a big one, like, maybe like this size. Blackfish are delicious. Dinars, yeah. I have to go back to my old place and get I have to get my mommy's paintings, and I have to get my bicycle, and I have to get my clothes. I left my clothes at home. Bird watching, yeah. I saw today, I realized I saw for the first time. I saw a seagull from above. The seagull was down. I never saw a seagull's back. How many people have seen a seagull's back, man, from up here, up in the crow's nest? I also love smart women, man. I have a thing for them. Ever since I was like in third grade and I fell in love with Carrie Gottlieb. She was the smartest girl I've ever seen. I was just crazy about her. Oh my gosh. Iraq, you pay America back. DNR. Money does no good for your health, is tanking. I don't know if that's true, man. Money is good for your health. I'm not against money anymore. I'm just not. Intellect is sexy. It really is. I love a smart woman. But, I've met some, fairly I don't even know what you know what? This whole thing about smart and dumb, it has no it's ridiculous because people have different skill sets. Somebody who's really like, I'm really good at some stuff. I'm a nitwit when it comes to, like, being organized. I can't and, like, a really intelligent woman it's really sexy, but so is a really together woman who in that way you might say is not intelligent, but she might have intelligence in another way that's not so measurable that could be just as exciting. So yeah, I think yeah, for me really, she's female, she's got a pulse. I did see a Russian old lady this afternoon that I probably wouldn't anyway, yeah. The med beds will be nice, be 30 years younger, but I'm pretty happy, I don't I'm not, it's all good. Nikola Tesla, yeah, there's a lot of technology that's gonna come out. Biden, Fetterman, right? All right, I think I'm gonna, my son-in-law is awake. That's good. Not for my daughter, right? Coney Island. I'm close to Coney Island. I'm on the same, coastline, but I'm a little bit, farther east. Tastes like chlorinated water, it does, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I don't First of all, I don't mind the taste, but I feel a lot stronger. I just do. It like, mentally stronger, physically stronger. And yeah, you could make some money on it. I'm gonna have some more videos about it this week. I'm putting out a video tomorrow, probably. Is it tomorrow or Monday? Oh gosh, I told him Monday and I'm gonna be moving. But I'm gonna put one out soon. Love new currency, yeah. I'd say in other cultures, in like other galactic cultures, the people who are really valued are the ones who are wise and sexy. I don't know. Little Odessa? I don't know, maybe that's what they call it. I mean, I really didn't think about it when I just was like, "Man, that place looks cool." I didn't even see the apartment before I had decided to rent it. I just saw the pictures from the apartment of the view, and I was like, "Yeah, I can make that work for me." Yeah, I think the new info is the SCOTUS thing, that the Supreme Court has to rule as to whether or not Congress can not you go to the Intel channels, you'll see it. There's a couple of explanations. It's just I realize I shouldn't be telling people how many floors up because I don't really want bad guys knowing where I live. The coming storm is a winter tell all. I drag us through an NDE, non-disclosure. The SCOTUS thing was that so they have to rule the SCOTUS is quickly gonna rule as to whether or not it was legal for Congress to suspend. They're supposed to, by law, have a 10-day review of the election process after the 2020 election, and they suspended it. So SCOTUS has to rule whether or not that's legit for them to suspend it. If it's not legit, it's possible scenarios that all the justices, even the liberal justices, would have to say, yeah, they should have done it. And then the people who would have rioted if the selection process was overturned won't be able to say, look, the liberal justices voted they all voted together. They didn't vote on the selection process. They voted on the law to review the selection process. So if that law is overturned, then most of the government will be asked to leave. They'll have to leave because they weren't elected in a, fair and Lukashenko is dead, yeah. I love that you have your name Jedi Warrior, man. That is so cool. It could be bad for people's health to wake up too abruptly, yeah. Who's God? Who's God? Oh my gosh. Sometime before load, wood stoves. All right. So I'm going to call it a night, and the adventure goes on. I just have to say that I'm feeling much more secure in my new place as far as continuing the channel in a glorious way, and hoping for, remember, we have two channels now. You guys all know this, but we have two channels. We have one for live meetings and one for short videos. I'm trying to monetize the live meeting. So, but we'll get through it. Excuse me. Okay, guys. So, yeah, we don't have to suffer. Suffering is optional. I really believe that. We don't have to suffer. This is not called suffering. This is called living. I'm going to eat something. Yes, some delicious food that a certain person left in my house. Yeah. Okay. So we will see you. Yeah. My evening is like, I have like 5 minutes. I'm going to jump into bed. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And just know that this SCOTUS case could be huge. December could be a huge month. I know all these months keep breezing by. We thought October, we thought November. Hey, this is a big thing. What's about to happen? This is a reversal of fortune for everyone on the planet. Return to Gan Eden, maybe, literally. Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Much love. May the force be with you. God bless.